Okay. Um, okay. I may have to redo an intro here because I'm not quite sure if I stopped the recording entirely, and I don't know if I lost the beginning that I did with my introduction or not. I see, I told you I'm a little bit out of the loop. So if I've lost the introduction, which was my face looking at everyone and talking to you. Let me just recap here a little bit because either you're going to get a repeat of things. But this is Christine. I am Christina Taylor. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from North Canton, Ohio, and I'm sharing with you today the All Things Spring card class. So most of you will have you'll have picked up your packets, got your packets if you are got a kit to go, and you'll be watching this video and completing those projects along with me. So yeah, I don't remember what else I said in the beginning of that introduction. So I'm hoping that it actually pulls together and will come together with this segment. I hit the pause button and I think I actually ended the recording. So that would just be how the day is going. You know, it is what it is. So couple things. Let's put this aside here. First, this is the new catalog. It's coming out May 1st. And I can just show you the front cover, but it has these like embossed images, you know, around the page there. I am going to do a catalog tour because this catalog has a very different look and feel than our previous catalog. So I'll do a video to kind of take you through a catalog tour, and I would definitely encourage you to watch that video because it'll highlight the new layout of this catalog. In this catalog, I can, you know what, let me go grab them because I can do that. I probably should have grabbed them before. I've got some new products. I should probably do a video there too, but you know, baby steps. I'm just going back into being able to do classes after several months of not having them. So what I want to mention is I did send this out in my email, but I'm doing an in color club. Several people had asked me about it, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and set one up. So this in color club will run for 5 months. It will be May through September, so 5 consecutive months, and the cost is $44 each month. With that, this club, you'll receive all the products listed below, which I'll go over for you, and in all the new 5 in colors. And you'll get a bonus color sampling of the basic beige, which I'll talk about. So there's no obligation to gather with this club. I'll prepare everything each month, getting you all the bundle of your color for that month. And then you'll just pick them up in my little pickup drop-off house that's by the back door on the 15th of each month. So payment is due on the 4th of each month before I order the items. So the new in colors are, so let me share them to you here. This is Shy Shamrock, kind of a little lighter than Bermuda Bay, really pretty green. Summer Splash, here we go. And this is similar to Coastal Cabana, but darker. So I think this is going to be a really fun color to work with. These colors work very well together, all 5 of them. Pretty in Pink. This is a returning color from years ago. When I say years ago, like when I signed up to be a demonstrator, so like let's say 20 years ago, you know. So the beautiful pink color, very, very nice. Then we've got Peach Pie, which is a nice deeper than what we used to have, like an apricot color, but lighter than pumpkin pie. And then we've got Petunia Pop, which we don't really have another color like this. I don't really have anything to compare it to color wise like some of the others, but this is a really beautiful one too. So those are the 5 in colors. And if you participate in this club, you will get, each month you'll get one color. So by the end of the 5 months, you'll have all 5 colors in all of these items by the end of your 5 months. So you're going to get a classic ink pad, which is the style ink pad. You're going to get the ink refill. You'll get a Stampin' Write marker, which is like these guys here. So these are Stampin' Write markers, obviously in different colors, but so you'll get one of those. You're going to get a half a pack of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. You're going to get the color of the shimmer gems and the color that you're getting that month. You'll get 30 in each color. You're going to get 24 of the resin in color dots. You're going to get 2 yards of the bordered ribbon, which let me grab a spool of that. Really should have had all these things here. I'll bring it up to the camera. I've still got this, there you go. You can kind of see it. So it's got some stitching around it and some nice texture. It's a real nice tieable ribbon. Ties, when I say tieable, it lays flat when you tie, so you don't add extra bulk to your cards. So you get 2 yards of that in each color. And then you're going to get an in color designer series paper in the color that you're getting. So say the color you're getting for the month is Petunia Pop. You're going to get your in color designer series paper in the Petunia Pop, your ribbon in the Petunia Pop, the resin dots, the shimmer dots, and the in color glimmer specialty paper you'll get in the Petunia Pop. Everything will be that color. Okay, so that's each month, $44. That includes shipping and tax and all the things. And then as an added bonus for each participant of the club, you're going to get a sampling of the new Basic Beige, which can you see that? I don't even have the plastic taken off of these things. Might have a little bit of reflection on it. Take this off and see if this helps a little bit to reduce the glare. Anyway, that's the Basic Beige. We're getting rid of Very Vanilla. So Basic Beige is going to kind of replace that. I'm anxious to work with this color. So you'll get 5 sheets of the 8.5 by 11, and you're also going to get 2 yards of the bordering ribbon, the bordered ribbon in the Basic Beige. That's just an extra little bonus, an extra thanks for being in the club. And then of course you'll get a copy of the new catalog, and then you'll get a copy of the September holiday catalog that's coming up as well as part of being in the club. And then you're also going to receive a free in color class video tutorial with project ideas for you to use, give you ideas to use your new products. So that's all part of being in the club for those 5 months. And if you would like to add on the Stampin' Blends in each of the in colors, you can do that. That's an additional $13, and that is optional. So the blends are optional. All the rest of this is included for the $44. So, okay, that's just like a little infomercial on the in color club. Of course, I'll have other clubs that if you have interest in those, I have one that meets on Zoom, and then other clubs that we don't gather, the group of ladies just purchase and they rotate with the hostess benefits. Hostess benefits are changing later in the year, and we'll talk about more about that when I do the catalog preview. So just wanted to give you a little peek of that. I have copies of the new catalog. So those will be available for pickup. If you, like I said, if you're wanting to do a club or anything along those lines, catalogs automatically come to you. Okay. I promise we're going to get started stamping. I just wanted to do these things before I started. So this is the paper pumpkin kit for April. It's called Delicate Wings. I knew this was going to be a beauty. I was like, oh, I'm so in, because it was butterflies. So, and I haven't actually opened it up yet. I literally just took the plastic off and took it out of the tissue paper before I pressed the filming button. So you get a basic gray Stampin' Spot, and then the stamped images are a full butterfly, a flying one, some little speckles, And let's see you know what, I actually think there's a visual in here. Let me open that up because that'll be easier for all of you to see on camera. Let me open this up and get all the goodies out of here. Okay. So this is the kit for this month. Can you see that? Look at those cards. Oh my goodness. The beautiful butterflies and their pop-ups and die cuts. Oh, those are so pretty. I'm excited to use this kit. Oh, this is great. So Stampin' Up started putting this in here. So see, now you can see a black and white image of the stamp. So you've got the two butterflies, the speckles, and then a sentiment, sending love, loving thoughts your way. Everything will be okay. And surrounding you with love. Boy, all those great sentiments. So that is the stamp set. And if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, when you do subscribe to Paper Pumpkin your first month, you get the block, the D-size block, so that you'll have a block to use with your photopolymer stamps. You get that in your first month subscription, and then you have it thereafter to continue to use. So you typically always get glue dots and your adhesives. So let's see, I've got dimensionals and the glue dots. And it looks like they gave us a little roll of tear and tape too in this kit. Of course, there's my stamp set. And look at these beautiful envelopes. You know what? I bet these are in the basic beige. I'm wondering if they are. Let me see. Yes, they are coordinating colors, basic beige. It's on there. Basic beige, basic gray, Lost Lagoon, Moody Mauve, and Champagne. Ooh, so I really like this. This is going to be a nice neutral to work with. And then look, there's some they're gold embossed butterflies on there. Those are beautiful. So you've got 9, this makes 9 cards. Here is the designer series paper on these cards. I love that Stampin' Up is doing this because it's a full card with all the butterflies. But if you're like me and half the other people that do Paper Pumpkin, you're going to cut this in half and make 2 cards out of this instead of, you know, having that be the backside. Not that you couldn't, but I mean, I will. I'll put it, and that would be so pretty on basic beige. So, okay, let me put that back in there. And then, oh, we've got this. I'm always here for you. That is so pretty. I really like this basic beige. Oh my goodness. And then some specialty designer series paper with like some metallic flecks on it. So these are a panel on one of the cards. Again, here's another card, and this has got embossed like gold flecks. So you could easily cut that in half and double up your cards there. This has got some gold metallic designer series paper. So this is specialty paper. And then these beautiful butterflies, so pretty. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna create with this. Oh, and then this, so the other one was like in Lost Lagoon, and this is in the basic gray within the champagne embossed butterflies on here. This is so pretty. And then you've got some die cut labels, some embossed butterflies. So you've got 2 sheets of those. And then we've got these die cut butterflies too, a bunch of like little ones with the Moody Mauve, Lost Lagoon, the beige, the gray. Love that. This is super pretty. I am excited about this kit. If you got this kit, let me know in the comments if you got this kit and if you've already created it. Mine just came a couple days ago, so I haven't even had time. Like I said, I just opened it up before I started filming the video. Okay. All right. If you see anything that you like in today's video that you want to order, quite a few of these things are retiring because it is the time of year when we release the retirement sale and everything is a last chance. There are quite a few things that are discounted on the sale. So we've got our last chance list for the January through April mini catalog and then the annual catalog. And there are quite a few things, particularly with like the embellishments, that are like 40 to 60% off, like a lot of things are discounted. Now they all are while supplies last, so keep that in mind. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Couple of our kits collections, we've released a couple more kits, and this one is By Your Side kit with a stamp set. It's all inclusive stamp set, ink, embellishments, everything to make 8 cards. And then of course you have the stamp set left over. And then this one is Hooray for Honeycomb kit. These two were just released here in April. And then these were some kits that were in March, Your Day to Shine, and then the Frogs and Friends, which is a very fun little kids like little 3D treats that you can make. So you can find the latest kit details on the website. Just search kits and that will give you all that information there. But anyway, my online store is at stampingucrazy.stampinup.net. And my current host code is P as in Paul, Q as in Queen, A as in Adam, Z as in Zebra, P as in Paul, V as in Victor, V as in Victor, and Q as in Queen. I felt like once I started it with saying a name with it, I had to finish it because I didn't want you to think maybe I was saying V. Anyway, this is my current hostess code. When you use that code, when you shop online in my online store and use that code, it lets me know that you would like the free card kits that I give away as an extra thank you for your order or your online order. And also something to keep in mind, on next Tuesday, I believe it is next Tuesday, April 23rd. So, and it'll probably be like at, let's see, it's like midnight Stampin' Up time in their mountain time. So I think it's like 2 a.m. our time here in Ohio. They are refreshing the clearance rack with lots of stuff at very deep discounts. So I would mark your calendar for April 23rd, very early in the morning, because everything's while supplies last. And typically when that refresh hits, there's like packs of cardstock on there for like $3 and designer series paper for like $4, embellishments for a couple dollars. There could be ink pads on their stamp sets, dies, punches, all the things. Particularly, we could see some things from the holiday catalog that have been pulled back there since that catalog is now completely done. So mark your calendars, April 23rd, early in the morning. Make a note of this host code, because if you're ordering online and you use that host code, it's going to get you those a card kit as well. So some extra creativity for you. Okay. All right. I think I've stopped talking, or we'll stop talking about other things other than what we're stamping here. And we'll go ahead and get started with our project. So this is all things spring card class. So we're using colors and imagery that just is not snow. It's not pine trees, like I said earlier. So on this project, we are using Notes of Nature, which is a beautiful stamp set. And I'm super disappointed that this one is not carrying over. This is in the April catalog, the spring catalog. And it is retiring with the set of dies, and we're using actually quite a few of them out of the die set today. In fact, I'll show you which ones we're using. This one. We're actually going to use all those 3. These 3 die cut the images in the stamp set, and then of course there's a little leaf there. I just didn't use that one on this project. So these are both in the April or January through April catalog. Not carrying over. It's a red rubber cling stamp set. I think it's beautiful. I love it because we're going to create a collage effect. This stamp set lends itself to collaging, which is layering your stamp images on a sheet of cardstock to give you that depth and dimension. And then I like that it has these 3 sentiments in there too, which I think are very versatile. So Notes of Nature. Then we're also using the stylish shape dies. So these are we've used these a lot, the circles and the banners and the squares. And on this project, I'm using the second largest circle. And if I could get it out of here, the largest banner. That's what I have used. And then the inks that we're using are Gorgeous Grape, Blackberry Bliss, Fresh Freesia, and our white craft pad. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of set all these aside. I'm gonna go over what you've got in your kit paper-wise. So you've got your white envelope. Then you've got a piece of Fresh Freesia that is 5.5 by 8.5. You've got a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5.25. I've gone ahead and done the die cutting, which I'll show you. You've got a piece of the frayed white ribbon, which this is currently on the clearance rack for $3. It was originally $7, and I think it's a 10-yard roll of ribbon. I love this ribbon, as you know, because if you watch my videos, you've seen me use it. So I still show it because you can still get it on the clearance rack. So you've got a 6.5-inch piece of that. Now, you would need extras of Blackberry Bliss, white, Fresh Freesia, and Gorgeous Grape if you were die cutting all this out, but I've gone ahead and die cut those things for you. So in your kit, you're going to have a Blackberry Bliss circle. You're going to have a stitched banner in the basic white. You're going to have a long piece of this beautiful die from the Notes of Nature in the Fresh Freesia. And then you're going to have your pieces of greenery in Gorgeous Grape. So you've got those. You'll have one of each of all these, except for this one, for each of your cards. And this one we're going to cut in half. And I think that's it. Okay. So this is the card we are creating. Get it there in the shot there. So we're doing some collage stamping. We're going to do some tearing. We're going to put that torn edge inside our card. So making use of that complete piece of cardstock just by putting it on the inside of our card. And then we're going to do a little ribbon up here. I think I'm going to do the ribbon a little differently than the way I did it in this example. So we'll kind of walk through that. And then everything is put on flat except for the banner I put on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So, and I will leave this sit right here so you can kind of see the card. I altered it a bit. I think on my example here, I took this and broke it in half. I'm just going to use a piece of it, I think. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think I'm going to do it so that it's that way. So we'll kind of walk with that together. Okay, let me grab my Simply Scored tool. And I'm going to score my cardstock. If you have a scoring tool, you might want to do this as well. I'm just going to score it at 4 1/4. This makes it a little easier when you go to fold part in half. And I'm gonna get rid of my heater there. Where you have a like hot flash. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold that in half and flatten that crease with the bone folder. And then I'm going to come in with a stamping piece of paper. And I know this is really bright, but this is going to pop because it's so bright there. All right, we're going to go ahead and open up the ink colors. Gorgeous Grape, Bliss, Fresh Freesia, and my whites. We'll stamp with the white first because that takes a little bit longer to dry. And I'm going to use speckles, this one, and my grid. Okay, I'm going to stamp with the grid. I'm just going to do a couple pieces on that. And I'm just cleaning my stamps with a little chamois. I've got it in a stamp case with some designer series paper. So I'm just going to clean that off. So that's what I'm cleaning my stamps with over to the side. Then I'm going to put, oh my goodness. Put some little flowers on there. clean that one off, and then we'll do some speckles. Okay. So I just wanted to create a little interest on this Blackberry Bliss die cut. And we're done with the white, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that and move that out of the way. Okay. Let me grab my other stamps. I'm gonna kind of put them where the colors I want to use for stamping purposes, so that way I've got everything kind of where I want it to be color-wise. Okay, so I'm going to start with my largest image first. This is kind of like this torn page. And I'm just going to stamp that right on in my Blackberry Bliss. Okay. And then do that, let's see, with the grid. And I'll come in with the little leaves and put those in some strategic places just to get some extra color in there. So notice I'm just stamping over the images. I'm gonna leave that there and I might come back to that. Let me do this little guy, this little sprig, and that's gonna add some grape color to the images or the overall picture. Just kind of look at it and I'm just adding color where I'm trying to fill the space up, but add bits of the like gorgeous grape. Then I'm going to come back in with the freesia and do this little blossom and put that in some spots. Let's see. Looking, I really want one there, even though there's another one there. It's okay. Okay. And then, of course, we'll do some speckles because, you know, that just adds more texture to it. And I'm just going to put them over the white areas. Okay. Right. Okay, so I've got that all stamped, collage stamped there. And what do I want to do on my front here? My envelope. Let's do a grid. And maybe this flower here, or this. Yeah, we'll do that. I like it. I don't know if I cleaned all these off, so let me clean them really quickly so that I don't set so I don't set my cardstock on them. And shut those two. And then I'm done with those. I want to stamp my greeting in the grape. So I'm going to use the Today is All About You. Happy birthday. And just put that in the center. Okay. And I'll go ahead and shut that. All right, so next what I'm going to do, I need to cut this. Sorry, let me put that back in the screen there because it's kind of blocked out a bit. So like I had mentioned before, I already used these dies and die cut all these pieces out. So this was everything that I used to get all the pieces that you see here. This die is what I ran on the white cardstock to give you kind of like that notebook kind of feel to it. It gives you a little stitching, and you could actually bend it over and tear it off to have it perforated. So you could totally do that. I just use this to be able to wrap the ribbon in there. You can do what you'd like, but it is set with stitching so that you can get that perforation, kind of like a notebook tear of paper, which is one of the cool things about it too. So those are all die cut for us. I'm going to take my ribbon. So you want to do the same with your ribbon, and you're just going to cut it in half because it's too thick to go through those holes as it is with being like, I think this is like 5/8 of an inch. It's just too bulky. So, and then I like to pull a few of the pieces out, because I like it to have a little bit, it's frayed on the outside of this, and I want both of my edges to be frayed. So I like to go ahead and tear it a bit. So see, it gives you that softness on both sides, that little frazzled, frayed area there. So I did this a little longer, and I'm thinking about, we'll just kind of, we'll explore this together and see. So you're just going to feed this in. Let's see, I want to put, I'm going to do it differently, and we're going to see if I like it or not. So you can feed your ribbon however you want. Thought I would try it so that the little ends are on top instead of being tucked below. But this is going to be an on-camera decision, so we'll see if we like it or not. And actually, I don't even know if it's gonna, if it will work out to where they'll both be above. Oh, it does look like it will be. Okay. I might not go with this, or might actually, so I don't know. I kind of like it. This is like a little bit longer of a gap there. I was thinking to leave it like, just leave it on top and leave it frayed instead of tucking it behind. So I think I will do one that way. And I'm gonna pull the fibers so that it's frayed at the top. So that way it just gives you a different way to look at it and do it if you want to too. So I'm cutting it, but then I'm pulling the fibers to get that frayed look at the bottom. So I'll do that one this way. Okay. All right, so I think we've got all of our pieces. We're ready to layer and assemble here. And because I've got that ribbon there, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. So adhesive is going up in the catalog. Let me see if I can run some. Adhesive's going up in the catalog. Cardstock is. The tools are, just about everything. Oh my goodness! I'm like not even paying attention to what I'm doing, and I literally was going to glue this down, and I got to tear it. For heaven's sake, ladies! I hope this is going to be entertaining for you, because I truly am out of the loop. I tell you, when it comes to classes, I'm not on my game when it comes to filming a video. So you're in for an adventure with this video. I'm sure of that. Okay. So I tore the cardstock. Oh my goodness, I almost didn't do that. And when I tore it, because I did it so frantically, I held it, this little piece. Oh my goodness. And I pulled it towards me. So I just tore down about 3/4 of an inch and just pulled it towards me. That way it gets a torn edge on the outer side of the cardstock, or that layer. And then we're going to take this piece and just place it on the inside of our card. This is only the first project. Can you imagine where we're headed after this? Yikes. Okay. Use my seal. We're going to put this one in place and just figure out how you want to place that on there. Right there. I do want to put dimensionals on this one, and just seem to have the minis here, but they will work just the same. Oh, I want to come back to this guy. So what I was thinking is to do this one. So what you want to do is just strategically kind of cut the little pieces off of here. And in all actuality, you're probably could probably cut that in 3 pieces because it's going to be too big to kind of tuck behind. So I'm going to do that and kind of play with this. So you'll have one strip in there and you really just, my thought was just to use one piece on there and not do the two. I don't know. That was where I was going with it. Put this in place. And then I'm going to tuck this down below. So just gonna put a little adhesive on the lower portion of this. Okay. And then some, I should have used my fine tip glue for this one. But it's so delicate, you don't need a lot of adhesive on it. It's a delicate piece, so just a little bit is gonna be quite fine. Okay. So this was my thought to like eliminate the purple from down below here and just have the one little sprig. So I am gonna do it differently. So that's what you'll want to do is to cut your long die cut piece. You're going to want to cut that in 2 pieces, potentially 3. You really could get 3 pieces out of it. So you could do one card like on the top and bottom if you wanted. But after I was like, I'm going to change this one up a little bit. So let me know what you think in the comments for sure. I'm happy to listen and get your thoughts on that. So here is our first card. Almost was a little bit of a craziness, but we fixed it. Got it. So yeah, so they look a little different. This one has the ribbon tucked under with the adhesive fastened under, and this one I just left it out. I kind of like that one too. So I like them both. They're just a little different. So, okay. All right, let me clean up these supplies and then I'll come back with our next project. Okay, I'm back with the next project. Let's hope this one goes a little smoother than the last one. A little bit bumpy there. Okay, so on this project here, we are using Boho Blue ink, which is one of our ink colors. We are using the Heartfelt Hexagon. I just realized I spelled this wrong. Look at that. Heartfelt. It's with an F, and it's supposed to be a T. It's Heartfelt Hexagon. Okay. Anyway, Heartfelt Hexagon. This has been a very, very popular punch. And then the Bow Punch, which coordinates with the Layering Leaves stamp set. So these two coordinate. This is carrying over, but they're not carrying over in a bundle. So if you want them in a bundle with a 10% savings, I would say order them before the end of the month. So it punches out these larger images here and then these 2 smaller ones. We've used this before in classes. It's great because you've got these images that are punched out with the tool, excuse me, and then these great sentiments too. Really versatile, like kind of all occasion. So you can use, you know, any one that you might like. So that is stamp set here. And then this one, this is, I think, called Layering Florals. I think it's in the January through April mini catalog. It is carrying over to the new catalog. It is a 3D embossing folder and just beautiful. So then we're using a blending brush. Those are going up in price as well in the catalog. I think they're going up like $1 a pack in price. And then I've got the In Color Jute trim, and I've used the Boho Blue out of there. I barely have any left of this, but this is great trim. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that when we go to use it. And then I'm also using, now this is a celebration paper. And I know several of you have this, and if you, so this is, if you don't have it, you can use any other bird paper. Just gonna grab a sheet out of here. So I just had grabbed, actually, I think this is what's left of the sheet I was using. As you can see where I punched it out. And inserted my punch to get the birds out that are in your kits. But this is beautiful paper with the birds on it. Just all kinds of spring imagery. And then it's got some bigger birds there too. So yeah, great paper, beautiful paper. And there's always substitutions in the catalog that you can use. So let's see, I've already punched the bird out, but I'm going to show you what I did. So I just used the hexagon punch, took that up within the cardstock there and got a frame of birds and then just punched it out. So on this paper, you could just seriously go down in succession, each one, and punch out multiple hexagons to get your birds. So it's a beautiful spring paper to use for this project. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And for our supplies, we have got, of course, I'm using confetti white. That is a retired product. I know. Like I said, I've said this before. When it was on the clearance rack, I bought like a ton of it, and I still have it. So I'm using it. I'm sharing it with all of you. But we have all kinds of other papers that will substitute just wonderfully fine. Our white cardstock is beautiful, and you can put little specks on it. I just had this and thought this was perfect for this particular card. So we've got a piece of confetti white that's 5.5 by 8.5. And then a piece of confetti white that is 4 by 5.25. I've got that punched out bird from the hexagon punch. We've got a confetti white envelope, and then I have a scrap piece for some additional punch outs of the confetti white. Okay, so here's the card we are going to make. Here's this beautiful card, just softness with that boho blue around those blossoms and the birds. I just really like this. I thought it was really pretty, just simple. And it also shows you how you can use your basic, your neutrals line in cardstock and add a soft color to it with the blending brushes, and it adds that element of color to your project. So it doesn't have to be, if you don't have the boho blue cardstock, you can always blend and get that color there that way if you've got the ink. So I love showing projects like this to just accent that I want to say benefit to your ink pads. So and then I didn't stamp a greeting in here, but I'm going to stamp it on the example and kind of go through that with you. Let's go ahead and get started. We've got my scoring tool out here. I know I should have scored this before we started, but just scoring that at 4.25. That'll make it easier to fold. Let me get my bone folder to flatten that crease. I hope all of you are enjoying the beautiful weather we've been having. My goodness. Oh, it's been beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this white piece of confetti white cardstock and I'm going to put that in the layering florals embossing folder. And Stampin' Up! Provides a nice line here at the bottom so that you know that your cardstock is in there even when you run it through the cut and emboss machine. So when I run that through, this is what I end up with. So I've got this beautifully embossed piece of cardstock. Okay. And then because I'm using punch outs on my card and not like necessarily imagery with stamps, other than my greeting, I thought I would do this for my envelope. So I'm going to take that embossing folder. Back out. I'm going to take the embossing folder and insert my envelope just into the bottom part here. So I'm getting about 1 inch on my envelope. And kind of right where you would put your address, but it's not going to interfere with the postmarking and the person that you're sending it to, their address. And I'm going to run that through the cut and emboss machine just like this. So I'll lay that on my plate, put the grape specialty plate down and run that through. And when I do, that is going to give me an envelope like this. So you get this really beautiful touch to your envelope that just gives the who you're sending it to just a little something special before they actually open that up. So we've got that done. Now I need to do some punch outs. So I'm just going to use my bow punch and punch out. I need 2 of those bigger ones, and I want to do 4 little. So let's see if I can just insert it and get the little ones out of here. All right. So you just need a scrap of that. Let me decipher here what I actually need out of all that punched up. This, and this. This is trash. Okay. So I've got my little sprigs there, and I'm ready to blend. I'm going to bring my bright cardstock back in here to put as a base. And I'm going to use my blending brush. And I'm going to start off of my cardstock and then come in, work my way in. So don't get like a really harsh thing of color right away if I were like just go right down on my embossed cardstock. So I've added some soft blue to that. And I want to soften my little bird just a bit, to kind of soften those the white. I don't want to say harsh, but it is like a little bit more of a stronger contrast around it. Okay, so that just softens that a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and add, I don't know, do I want to add the color on my envelope? Let me see. Try it and see. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty. So we add a little color there too. Okay. Then I've chosen the Thinking of You on here. And I'm going to stamp that on the inside of my card. Now, if you have that stamp with Thinking of You on there and you're like, oh, I don't want to make this the Thinking of You card. Like you're thinking, okay, I want to do this for a different occasion, but that's on the inside of my card. And now what do? Here's a tip for you. You can just take and fold that card back over so that your front now becomes your back and you have a fresh inside. And then you would just layer over top of that and no one would even know. And then you could put whatever sentiment you want in there if you need to change it up. So that's always a helpful tip. If you're stamping something and you're like, I don't really want to make it that greeting anymore. If it's on the inside of your card, just flip it, make that your front and layer right over it. So it's a good tip. Good tip. All right, so we are going to go ahead. We're done with the stamping. We're going to go ahead and assemble. And I like to use the liquid glue when I do the embossing folders. It just gets in all those nooks and crannies. That is going up. I think it's going up possibly $1. It's like $4.50 now. It might be $5.50. It must be going to go up. I don't know. It's a great adhesive. Like if you don't have it, I would get some. I use it all the time. And I find it to be very good. And I'm looking for, you'd think I could find my regular dimensionals, but this is my black ones. I found the mini ones. Like, I can't actually find my regular ones. Oh, there they are. That's ideally what I needed. That's for pop-up cards there. To put a couple dimensionals there. And place this, I guess I'll place it right in the center. Do it over to the side. You can put it wherever you want. I guess I'll just do the center. And I'm gonna put these little sprigs down in there, just tuck them behind. So it actually make a really pretty wedding card, I think. With the simplicity of it and just oh, it's 30. Okay. Did you guys hear Alexa talking to me? My husband has the Alexa set up so that she gives us the temperature and the weather for tomorrow every evening. So, which is fine. But he didn't initially tell me he'd done that, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit when she started talking to me, and I was down here by myself, and nobody else was home. So I don't know how I feel about Alexa, but she's here, you know. So anyway, I hope you've been enjoying the beautiful weather. Everything is coming up in the gardens, including the weeds. Like that's going to be a battle here before long. So I'm hoping to be able to get on top of that. They'll come up regardless of if I'm out there working in the flower beds or not. Okay. So, and then, so I wanted to explain to you about the ribbon. So you'll notice this ribbon here is just a very delicate one. Okay. So when I was first working with this, I was like, you know, I don't want to put a little fiber there, something like, just a little something. So I tied it in a bow, and I tend to tie it right off the spool like I'm doing right now. And so I had it like that. And I just thought it was like too bold, just too heavy for the delicateness of this card. So I twisted the fibers by just twirling them against back the way they're twisted. And you got like 3 fibers out of this thicker one, and you get this thinner. And I love this much more. It's softer, and it was just like the look that I was going for. So let me find some glue dots here. Just gonna grab some from the paper pumpkin kit. And put it on my nail there because I needed to kind of roll it. So I just kind of rolled the glue dot a little bit, and I'm going to put that knotted bow right there by the bird. And there we go. We are done with this second project. So that is our card with, see, can you see the color picked up there? So we've got some color on the envelope, and then our card here. Same with this one. Okay, just different birds, but the birds will be different because they were just punched. They were just punched out of a piece of designer series paper with a bunch of birds on it. Okay, I will clean this one up and be right back with some other supplies. Okay. Great, we're back with another project here. So on this one, we're using that Layering Florals embossing folder again. We're using Petal Pink ink and Calypso Coral. I've got some Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. Got these off the clearance rack. There's one of the other colors that we're using, the Calypso Coral, is actually up here. It's just covered with the label. And then we've got the Petal Pink, and then Pool Party and Azure Afternoon. So using those. Something fancy stamp set. I've gone ahead and grabbed that. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. But this one has a lot of different sentiments in it with a combination font. So that gives nice interest to your cards. And this stamp set, I believe, is carrying over. It is carrying over. The Sending Smiles, this stamp set is not carrying over. And I know we've used this at class before. I love how you can build the blossoms, and then the sending, it just has a lot of different occasions in which you can use the sending with as to why you're sending the card. So I think this is a good stamp set. I'm not sure. I want to say this one is discounted. If you were on the website and you're searching Sending Smiles, if you put that in there, it would give you the current pricing on that one, but it is not carrying over. And we're using the blossoms out of there for the inside of our card. And then we're using the Heartfelt Hexagon punch again on this project. Okay, so, oh, here's the, I brought both of them just so that, so you will have in your kit, you should have a set of 6 petal pink ones and a set of 6 Calypso coral. So you can use one on each card. As far as I put that, you probably want to use 6 embellishments on there. It'd probably help if I show you the card. I swear probably by the end of this video, I'm just gonna be on it. I'm gonna have my game together. Okay, this is the card that we're creating. So let me come up there. So if you can see how I did the embellishments, I strategically placed them on all the little centers of the tiny blossoms. So that's kind of the direction I went. You can do whatever you like, but that's the direction I was going. And you should have your embossed piece in there, should have multiple little flowers on there that you should be able to actively kind of do that as well. And then we've got the inside of the card. Okay. So I'm going to let that sit there. I do have the greeting popped up with some dimensions. So in your kit, you'll have your embellishments, of course. You'll have your envelope. You've got a piece of Calypso coral that is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. We've got a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4. We've got another piece of white that is 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. You'll have 2 strips of petal pink. Now these that I'm using are like 1/4 inch by 5 1/2. You might have ones in there that are in your kit that are 1/2 inch by 5 1/2, which I think most of them are. But there were some slim pieces in there, so I'm going to use the slimmer ones. And then I've gone ahead and punched out a Heartfelt Hexagon. And so I just flipped around and in the basic white. All right, so we'll start by scoring our card in half. Now, because this is an 11 inch long, we're going to score it at 5 1/2 inches. That will be our halfway mark for the longer card. Okay, so fold that in half, brace it with our bond folder, and good to go. Set that aside. Then this piece, this slim piece of white, I went ahead and ran through the embossing folder with the cut and emboss machine, and that gives me this piece. So we've got that done. And here's my envelope here. Okay, so we're going to do a little stamping. And so you might want to make this a birthday card or another option greeting, depending on, so you'll have a couple different options there and you can choose what you might like. I'm going to stamp these little flowers on the inside of my envelope, or no, the inside of my card layer. And I think I'm going to stamp 3 blossoms across the back for the envelope. Okay. And those are in the petal pink. And then I'm going to stamp the greeting, the sentiment, in the Calypso coral. And stamp that of that label piece. Okay. And then next what I want to do is I'm done with the coral, so I'm just clean that up. I want to roll my label around in the ink a little bit. So I'm just gonna tap it. You don't want to slice it because you will cut your pad. I'm just rolling it on the edge of the ink pad, and I'll show you here Can you see that little layer of color that is around? It's just going to have your label pop out a little bit more in front of your card. Just a little touch. But again, you don't want to slice it across your pad. You will cut into your pad, and that's of course going to damage it. So don't do that. Okay, we're ready to layer and assemble our card. To put these little strips on, I'm just going to take some of the liquid adhesive and run that down my embossed cardstock, and I am putting it on the side of the embossed cardstock that's like concave. So because I want that to be my back side. I want the embossed, the raised area to be. So I'm just kind of laying them in place, and then I'll turn it over here to play with the positions of those to get a nice layer. And I'm just moving these little sides in and out to get the layer that I want. And I've got it just a little bit longer, so I do want to trim that on the edge. I'll flip that back over and add some more adhesive. That on my card front. And I'm going to set mine kind of over to the left. You can, of course, put it on however you might like. You can center it down the middle if you want. You can put it to the right side, but I tend to go to the left on that. So I can put my greeting there on the right. Grab some dimensionals. I use 3 on there. And I was looking at where my blossoms are at because there's a little one right there. So I want to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could cover that. So I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So think about that when you're placing it, because you'll have 6 embellishments. So yeah, I'm going to do it really similar to the way I did it on there. On this one, I use the coral on here. On this one, I'm going to use the petal pink. We'll give it a little bit different look. And little blue dot is like, I moved the embellishments. A little glue dot is like coming out from below it. There we go. So we're just going to pick them up. I'm just using my take your pick tool, picking up those embellishments and just putting it on the center of my cards, or the center of my flowers. Good gracious. Like I told you, I'm just really a little off kilter with my stamping, I'll tell you. Okay, here we go. Throw that away. Okay. Oh, we got to put this inside layer in. Were you telling me that, like in the video, like, Christina, you forgot to put the inside layer in? Let me know as we're going on here. Let me know in the comments, like, what your favorite card is. I would love to get that feedback from you. And any tips that you would like me to do when I'm doing the projects. I'm going to be working on getting a different way to film. Ethan, my son, is supposed to help me with that. So my kids are like my tech people. Okay, so this is our third project. Got this one, and I'm gonna come back with one more that is actually 2 different projects, but one. We'll see when I come back in the mix here. Hang on. Okay. All right, we're back with the next project. All right, I've got all my stuff here. Let's see. Let's get all these. Got got them all on blocks here. Okay, we are using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set, which this is carrying over. It won't be in a bundle anymore, but it is carrying over. So it's currently offered in a bundle with the Cheerful Daisy dies in this catalog, but like I said, it is carrying over, but will not be in a bundle. So just trying to get out the ones that I used on this particular card so I can show you. So there's a ton of dies in here that build 3D dimensional type daisies, and then of course cut out the imagery that's in the stamp set. So it's a nice die set. You can see I was playing with color combinations down here. So these are the 3 that I used on this project. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so we are going to stamp with the paper piercing mat. Set that aside and the dies aside. Then we're using the Distress Tile embossing folder. This was in the holiday catalog and it did carry over, so you won't see it in the current, in the current catalog, but it is a carryover item. If you just go to the online store and search Distress Tile embossing 3D embossing folder, it will come up for you. It's $9.50, I believe. The ink colors that I'm using, Copper Clay, which is one of our in colors, the Boho Blue, which is another in color, Moody Mauve, an in color, and Bubble Bath. Okay. And let me give you your card supplies, and then I'll show you the 2 cards that we're making. So these cards, so you're doing a Bubble Bath one and a Boho Blue one, because when I was cutting the designer series paper, I of course didn't have enough of, there's 2 sheets in the 12 by 12 and I needed to cut multiples and I didn't have enough. So you'll have a pink one and you'll have a Boho Blue one. So you'll be making one of each. So your supplies, and actually I'll just give you the supplies for like the one measurement because they're going to be the same for both cards, just different colors. So you got your envelope, of course. Then you've got a piece of this, and this one is the Bubble Bath, or you have Boho Blue. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Then you've got a piece of basic white that's 3.5 by 5. You have another piece of basic white that is 4 by 3.5. You need a scrap piece for the die cut label. You're going to need a scrap piece of Moody Mauve or Copper Clay for the die cut little sprigs, which I didn't get that one out of. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So we used that one. And then you're going to have a piece of the DSP, the Cheerful Daisies DSP, which let me grab that for you. Okay. Let me kind of share this with you. Last I checked, it was still available. So you get 2 pieces like this. So these are great for you to like slice down the straight lines and then cut into layering pieces. Several of these can just be full-on card fronts. And you've got like a brush technique on the back. And then this Copper Clay one with some brushed colors on the back. There's of course our Moody Mauve. And then some of the greens and the blues. I used I think all the blues in here. Let me look here. Nope, I've got some little cut pieces in this one. So you can see you'll have pieces of the daisies in that. So really beautiful paper, and it complements the suite. The stamp set and dies are carrying over. I don't know why they're not carrying the designer paper over, but I don't make those decisions. So. But you've got a piece of that, and the designer series paper is going to be 2 by 4 inches. Okay. So I will, and then you need a scrap piece for your daisies that we're going to die cut out. So let me share with you the cards that we're making. So we're going to make 2, same template layout though. Okay. So you've got the Moody Mauve and the bubble gum here, and then the Boho Blue and the Copper Clay here. Okay. So this one I made into a birthday card, and this one I made into your friendship means everything. So that can kind of cover a lot of different things. All right. So I'm going to leave those 2 cards kind of right here so you can get an idea of the layout. I did pop up the daisy and the labels with dimensionals. Everything else is flat down. So I'm gonna try to do both of these at the same time. Kind of been following the rule like we do at class when we're in person. It's doing both of the steps for both cards so that you complete them in a timely fashion. It kind of helps simplify the process. So I'm just scoring these at 4 1/4. My card bases. The Simply Score tool is a great investment if you're needing something like that. Our paper cutter is also good. It scores nicely as well. And you've got the scoring and cutting blade on that. So that's a good investment if, if you're needing a paper cutter. Okay, so we've got our bases there. We're going to do a little stamping. So let me get all the things that we need to stamp on for both of these cards. Labels. If you were in class, you'd be die cutting the labels. I've already done that for you, so you're like all set. Okay. All right, we're going to start with our big daisies that need to be die cut out. All right. So when I'm stamping with an outline image and then something that's going to be solid, I always like to stamp with the outline first. So I'm going to stamp that image full strength. And I want to clean that because remember, I'm going to stamp the next one. I'm going to stamp it in the balmy or the bubble gum. So that lighter pink. So you stamp that and clean that off. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause the camera. I'm like here, I'm home by myself and I could hear like something. It's like, is there like an animal in here with me or something? And there's actually a bee in here. There's a bee in here and it must have come in while I was like had the window open today. I don't know. Or the door open and it stuck in. I don't know. So if I like go like running off, you'll know the bee came over here. I inked the daisy in the bubble bath. I'm going to stamp it off once on my stamping paper. Yeah, I can hear it buzzing over here. So this is not good. Gonna, oh my, it is around here. I may have to stop filming and like try and kill it because it's literally buzzing right by me. Okay, I'm gonna stamp this off and hover over top of that and stamp that down. So it's a little bit lighter so I can get the pop of that outline. I don't hear it now, so I'm not sure where it's going. It's gonna like freak me out here in a little bit. Okay, I've got the center of the daisy, and I'm gonna do the copper clay center for the boho blue one. And then for the bubblegum one, I'm gonna do moody. And then through the magic of TV, I would take the die and put that on my daisies, run it through the cut and emboss machine. And ta-da! I already have them die cut, so we're good to go on that. And then I'm going to take and stamp my labels. So on the one, I'm going to do a birthday. Maybe I'll change it up since I did this one on the birthday. I'll switch them around here. So I'll do a blue one for the birthday. Okay. And then the copper clay. No, wait a minute. I'm doing this one. Okay. I'm really glad this is like, for the most part, this is not your first time joining me, hopefully. Because you're like, really, Christina, you're really just off your rocker with what you're doing. I didn't want to do that in that color. I wanted to do it in the, okay, so I'm gonna confuse myself. So what I'm gonna do is just do it as I had done it to begin with and not confuse myself. So I'm gonna flip that over. And we're gonna do this in the copper clay. Oh, that looks great. Let's go with a friendship card for that one. Sounds good to me, ladies. How about you? And then we're gonna do this one in the Moody Mauve and make that a birthday one. Oh, goodness, yeah. Should just stick with the program, Christina. Not divert. Do not divert. Okay, we've got our labels stamped. Now we're gonna do some daisies on the inside. And I'm gonna use the smaller daisy. So I'm gonna stamp that in blue. Got the boho one there. Clean that off, and then we're gonna do a bubble bath. Yeah, I could hear that little sound, and I'm thinking, I was like, oh, my husband must be home early. And I'm like, I don't know, that sounds like a little creature or something. And yeah, it was. It's a bee, and I don't hear it now, so that's a little concerning. And then I'm gonna stamp the Moody Mauve center for the bubblegum one. Got all that done. Okay, great. And then now we'll do our envelope. Go back and repeat that process again. I probably could have just done that one way of doing it, but we'll do each step for both cards. Nope, wrong color. Want to do the bubble bath. Just clean that one off. Okay. All right. And then we're going to do a copper clay center for the boho one. And a Moody Mauve center for the bubble bath one. I don't know. I always wanted to call it bubble gum. I do like all the time. It's not. It's bubble gum. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut these because you know at the rate I'm going, I'm bound to set something in them. That's for sure. Okay. All right, we've got all of our pieces stamped. So we're gonna move that aside. So I had gone ahead and used this little sprig die to die cut out of Moody Mauve some little sprigs and also out of the copper clay. So those have already been done. Of course, we did our label. So that's all of our die cut pieces and we are ready to assemble. Oh, on the, so your smaller white piece, that was, again, it was embossed with the distress die embossing folder. So you can see that texture there. So it's meant to be like in some areas more pronounced and then in other areas, no embossing at all. That's the texture of the card itself. All right, so we're going to try to layer and assemble these two together, and we're going to see how well I can do this. It's an adventure, that's for sure, ladies. I'm just going to grab some snail adhesive. And this is cut a little shorter, a little smaller, so you have a nice border around the perimeter of the inside of that card. There we go. So we've got that. And then we're going to layer our front pieces. So because this is embossed and yeah, these are the back sides here. I do want to use my liquid adhesive. I'll swirl that around. I think I'm not getting close to needing to refill this up. So I've cut this so that you have a nice border, slimmer than the one on the inside layer. So if you place this down and you've just got, you know, a nice even border around the top and the sides, you'll have the positioning will be fine. And you do the same for the boho blue one. So you've got your positioning, you've got a similar width of a border on all three sides, okay? Then you'll take your designer series paper and you're going to drop that down And just look at that border again, evening it out. They've got it on all three sides. And we'll do some mauve, same thing. Okay. Well, and then we are going to dimensionalize. So let's grab our dimensionals again. Grab the sheet out of here because I keep working with it. So we're going to flip all this over. So if you'll notice on the bubble bath one, okay, because the grading is bigger on the label, I almost put it on the wrong side. Remember, I stamped. I messed that up. So let me stamp. Let me put dimensionals on this so I don't put it on the friendship side. Okay. So the birthday one has more, wider words. So I want to put that in place. And then I'm going to tuck my I'm going to tuck the bubble bath daisy under that label. Okay, so just you can kind of play with the positioning, but you want to tuck it under so that it doesn't cover your words there. So that one's tucked under. Where this one, it's because it's shorter and I did it over to the left side. I'm going to put my daisy on top of it. So let's see. Here, positioning here. Okay. So see how that's just sitting on top of it because I've got some space I can fill up. So hopefully that makes sense in what I was saying. So let me get my fine tip glue here. And these are just little bottles that I got on Amazon because the fine tip glue, this is fine tip glue that's in here, but it's not our dispenser, our Stampin' Up! Dispenser, because I'm going to be honest, that thing, it clogs. It's hard for it to not clog to where it doesn't shut on you. It's got such a longer barrel to it that I had a bottle of it and used it at a class because it is a good adhesive. It's great for little fine details like this, where the Tombow glue kind of comes out way more than you need. But the barrel on it it gets clogged and I used it at a class and it didn't, if you don't put the dispenser, the pin back in it, to kind of keep it from clogging, it will clog and you're not going to bring anything through that after it's gotten clogged. It's not going to free itself. So I put, my fine tip glue in these little bottles. And then I did get an extra one and I put some Tombow in it. Because sometimes I do want that thicker glue. And the bottles work great. There's just a little pin there. And you stick that back in and it's good to go. Okay. Get these little guys out of the way. All right. So let me take those out. So here are two cards. So we've got this one in the bubble bath, and then we've got this one in the boho blue. Let me bring in all the rest of the cards, which I've got the doubles here. So we've got this one. Let's see, we'll put them up here. So bring my scissors back into the shot so it's something that has something to focus on. I'm sorry if that's been doing that. This was the one we made. I'm trying to figure out which ones we made here during class. And this one. So there we go. That's our projects for today. I hope you enjoyed this class. Let me flip back over and see if I can talk again. Like I said, I don't know if the beginning of this video you'll even see me appearing on the camera. I really don't know. Hang on. Okay, back on the screen. This is the way I was in the beginning of the video, but we'll see. It'll be a surprise for all of us when I download it to see if it works. So, um, I hope you enjoyed these projects. This certainly was an adventure. I don't even know how long this video is filmed. Once I download it, it's going to tell me how long it is, but I'm sure it's much longer than normal. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I appreciate you sticking with me because this has been an adventure because you can tell I'm a little bit out of sorts. Um, if, like I mentioned before, if there's anything that you're wanting to order before this current catalog ends, the last chance list is currently going on, and on April 23rd, the clearance rack is going to be refreshed with lots of clearance. And there is a little bit of a sneak peek in what's coming on that clearance rack, which hardly ever happens. So if you loved the Dainty Delights Designer Series paper that was a celebration paper, with like the wildflowers on it, if you loved that, or you loved it was something florals, favorite florals, I think, with like the purples and the bold colors and bold blossoms and everything like that. It would actually go really pretty with that flower, that embossing folder that we used earlier. Um, those are two celebration papers that are actually going to be offered on the clearance rack. I can't tell you the last time Stampin' Up's done that, if they've ever done that. So they must have a bunch in stock. And believe me, that paper will go quickly. I don't know what the pricing is going to be, but you can bet it's going to be a bargain price. And that paper is going to fly off the shelves for sure. Among other things, I'm sure that are on there. So if on the 23rd, if you want to get in on some of those clearance rack deals, grab some last chance items, things that you saw in today's video that you want to get before they're retired. Please remember to use my host code, which is PQAZPVVQ. And I'll probably send that out in an email because they just released and let us know that the clearance rack was going to be refreshed. So you can use that code in my online store, which is stampingyoucrazy.stampinup.net. So, that was a lot. So thanks for joining me today with this creative adventure. I really appreciate you sharing your time with me, and I hope that I have earned just the the blessing of your time by my sharing with you today these projects. So I do hope to do a video with the variety of different cards that I received, both for my brother's passing and then my birthday. Because you ladies, just everybody sent such beautiful cards, and I know they can provide creative inspiration to others. So yeah, so just remember to take some time to create your own paper sunshine and send it along to brighten somebody's day, because I know when I've received those cards in the mail, it has truly, truly brightened my day and lifted me up when times were just, it wasn't very good. So, but yeah. So until next time, happy stamping. Bye-bye.